We got ourselves, yo, WTF, man. This man about to say that when Kreisbet double cares about him in just a second or two. Gonna be a Succubus CC on to Kreisbet or Incubus. Oh, they Incubus each other. They're just hanging out with the boys. It looks like, yo, man, it's actually gonna be behind. Gonna be that Fertile coming down, not a permastun this time, which is a good thing. And Kreisbet, they try to load up for the biggest chaos bolt. Gonna be more to call out of Yo as he pops on a wall. Kreisbet just had to pop a wall of his own and go for the biggest damage. Yo, man, trying to go for the biggest damage to Kreisbet. Chaos bolt coming out. Maybe double chaos bolt. Does send a chaos bolt. Reflected back to him with so much damage. And that's gonna be chaos bolts back for Kreisbet. Yo, man, took a pretty big hit. Trying to bolt over the Succubus. Wait. Oh, I was gonna say, did Succubus get permastunned? Yeah, I thought he permastunned the Succubus. It looks like Kreisbet is gonna get the Succubus of the Yo Man low enough with a big decimated bolt set up. He's swapping out to the pet so he can get an interrupt pet while Yo Man's switching out to the Incubus or Succubus. Looks like he got the Incubus again. As he's trying to get the dots rolling with Immolation, trying to get a Decimate Bolt off of his pets. So both of them got some beefy Incinerates to go. They're just letting the pets fight each other. Kreisbet just trying to give his pet a little bit of healing. Looks like he's just going to summon a fresh new one instead. And while these Warlocks trying to figure out what they're doing with one another, we got ourselves Azarelia over on Team 1 together with Holy Moly Archetype as well as Copy versus Bellator on that team with Kiosco, Licorice Paw, Scootan, as well as Yo-Man, who's trying to poke out, trying to get a Chaos Bolt. His own Incubus, though, is going to be going down. So he's out there kind of naked without a pet. Actually, I guess his Incubus is more naked than he is, but his Incubus maybe describes how naked this man is. Without a pet, as a Warlock, you're just kind of missing a whole portion of your playstyle. A whole piece of your puzzle. And Yo Man trying to go for a fear onto the pet is going to be able to get it with no interrupts available. Trying to get a stun to Kreisbet around the corner with a fear onto Kreisbet. The pet could go interrupting Yo Man if he goes in for a Chaos Bolt. If the pet does get a good line of sight, dropping down Infernal into Kreisbet, knows the pet could interrupt him anytime. Trying to let it Incinerate. I think might have the empowered Incinerates from the Decimated Bolt. Kreisbet taking the gateway just to get himself out of there. And Yo Man as well as Infernals and pets are all rushing out. As Yo Man still hasn't resummoned another pet. He doesn't have an interrupt pet. He doesn't have the Incubus or Succubus. He doesn't have any pet whatsoever. So he's going to have to wait and try to find an opportunity to summon a fresh new pet at some point. Maybe with Fell Devastate or Fell Command? Fell Control? I don't remember what's called, chat. You tell me, I tell you. Decimate Bolt out of Kreisbet as he's going to be hitting that Incubus. Decimate Bolt out of for Yo Man as he hits Kreisbet's pet. Both of them have pretty big Decimate Bolts ready to go. And we'll see how things go. Stun onto Yo Man. Cataclysm around the corner. Yo Man taking a bit of damage and Kreisbet pushing in with full Fleshcraft ready. Yo Man getting interrupted. Yo Man does not have the same interrupt potential. Double cast potential into Yo Man. Takes a bit of damage with Incinerates to follow. Does go for a Dark Pact and is reduces the damage heavily as it just absorbs into that absorb rather than his own health bar. Fear onto Yo Man. His pet down completely. Kreisbet setting up another Chaos Bolt. Maybe big damage, another fear onto Yo Man. Just trying to blast through the Dark Pact. That thing is holding on strong. That's the hardest working Dark Pact I've ever seen. That takes a couple of Chaos Bolts, bunch of empowered Incinerates, and it's still just keeping Yo Man alive. Quick Mortal Call into a fear, but Kreisbet does get some line of sight from the fear pathing. Decimated Bolt into Yo Man as he trades out some dots, and Yo Man again under pressure of getting interrupted by the pet any moment. His fears could get interrupted, his fires could get interrupted. Quick Reflect by Kreisbet, and he just singes him down into the dust, taking Yo Man WTF out. As he probably got hit by fear. You know, I did tell you. Yo Man WTF, that's exactly what he was going to say next time he gets blasted by Kreisbet. And he got hit by the Reflected Fear. He's probably like, yo, what the? Who runs Reflect in these kind of duels? But for Kreisbet, that's actually really good since there's quite a few casters over on Team 2. Stun to Kreisbet, gonna be that Incubus trying to go for CC onto Scootan as they go into Void form. And the Incubus is going to keep him kind of CC'd, not making a move. Normally supposed to be drawing him into him, but maybe because of the line of sight around the pillar, he just can't. Scootan just dropped down for the big PI as well as the mages, but he's unable to get the big value out of it. And looks like Kreisbet is going to be changing his gameplay up a bit. Going for the interrupt pet versus Scootan. Hits him with the Mortal Call as the fear comes out. Scootan chooses to trick out of the Mortal Call just so he can get that advantageous pressure onto the Kreisbet. Void Torn fully out. That's going to be Reflect available for Kreisbet as he hits Scootan with the fear. Decimate Bolt as Scootan's health is kind of on the lower end, at least in about half inch. Does go for Disperse with Vampiric Embrace. That's a lot of defenses used all at once. Incinerates and should be able to burn through a Fleshcraft. That's potentially going to be big Chaos Bolt. That was huge Chaos Bolt by Kreisbet. Had the instant cast Bolt from that too. And Skutan get interrupted on Shadow. Could be really bad for him. More incinerates, but not empowered anymore. Kreisbed loading up yet another kills, but Skutan is super low. Silence under Kreisbed. Skutan has the opportunity to maybe catch up on healing, trying to get aggressive. Battle Master Streak and get himself as much self-heal as possible. And Kreisbed could be under a lot of pressure, especially with the Mages of the Dead. Hits that thing with a fear. Skutan peeps around the corner. Mortical hits him out from that void form. And still trying to get himself a full Void Eruption. Getting interrupted. The Mages of the Dead does have the good line of sight in order to get the cast in. It is doing suppression to his Kreisbed. Quick Fear onto Skutan. Kreisbed actually repositioning. Trying to make sure he has line of sight of Skutan at all times. Quick Fear onto Skutan afterwards. Maybe big Incinerates available. Might be able to get the biggest blasters in there. It's going to become flag right after. Skutan no health. And Kreisbed does end up singeing him out as well. Well played by the Shadow Priest. But Kreisbed did as much as he could there. My Lego bugged? I'm sorry to hear that, Billy. Wait, if your Lego bugged, which one were you? More Infernal coming down onto Kioska's head. Kreisbed had no help whatsoever. Wall with a flash grab cannot be interrupted as Kioska just tried to burn to the big explosions to Kreisbed. Gonna be the full stun with a Cataclysm as Kreisbed does bail out of there. Kioska charging out of Kreisbed with a Harpoon. Does reconnect. That's a lot of damage burned through all those shields. And Kioska set himself up in a situation where he could be a double bolted here. Potentially, his health does drop down incredibly low, and Kreisbed almost took him out right then and there. He's going to be able to get a bit of drain life from the Raptor, the undead Raptor from Dazar Allure. Or rather, King's Rest, I believe. I think it's Raban. Or maybe Nazmir? I think you also have the same Raptors in Nazmir as well. Decimate Bolt on the pet. Should be able to amp up some damage for Kreisbed. Cataclysm around the corner as the Suck of Incubus had Kiosko in the CC. And Kreisbed getting blasted with grenades. Lots of damage on him. Ooh, big explosion. Kreisbed came in with explosive damage of his own, but Kioska had just a good old grenades, a death chakram, an explosive shot, and just, Kreisbed was just trying to go for a 1v5 and blow up. And Kioska just gave it a whole new meaning. Sound Totem kind of clips onto the pillars. So Copyfin misses that stun onto Kioska, but is going to be able to get a Sunder with an LA Blast. Kioska with it. Survival the fittest. Big Chain Harvest at Kioska with no more defenses. Turning attention onto Copyfin. Might actually be able to maybe get some pressure on him. Trying to get whatever heal, but Copy just had him on in the unwinnable position at that point. Just had the pressure on the Hunter, who was completely out of cooldowns. Not so much you can do about it. Licorice Ball up next versus Copyfin. Shadow Priest versus Enhancement Shaman. Who wins these duels? I think both of them got a lot of healing though. Copyfin charging out, not going to be chilling behind the pillar for long. Licorice tried to go for the Panda Racial, but something breaks in him. That's going to be Grounding Totem down for Copy. Licorice trying to go for the full dots on Copy. Is going to have to reset it up. Reinterrupts coming out for Copyfin, but it is full burst available for Licorice Paw, as he does have the Kyrian burst. Going to be a quick stun to Copy. Actually, lots of damage to Copy. Is that going to be enough though? He's going to have to wall it as the silence comes out. Copy does give himself a little bit of healing from it. Licorice has quite a bit of damage with a Kyrian. I like this man's trying it out. Mind Blast onto the Rock Boy. Might as well get some resources off that thing. As Copyfin charges out, has the Grounding Totem, has the interrupt. So as long as Copyfin has ways to deal with the Shadowcast of Licorice, it is in a great spot. Static Totem and Licorice is just going to be able to walk out of it together with the Greater Fade. As Copyfin dropping down Grounding Totem, Licorice needs to make sure he doesn't get the burst into the Grounding Totem. Copyfin needs to get the next interrupt to Licorice. Licorice is having to go very, very defensive. Actually, action defensive. Dispersed together with Vampiric Embrace. Full eruption onto Copy. Does he have no damage? Trying to get those Void Balls to attack him. And that's going to be Copy with a Panda Racial. CC and Licorice for just a second. The Siphon is going to reduce the healing Copyfin is getting until they get on his side of the pet. And Licorice got some instant cast to follow. Grounding Totem could be going down for Copyfin anytime soon. Has an interrupt very, very soon as well. And Licorice needs to make sure he doesn't get interrupted on a bad time. Copyfin is eating so many dots. Greater Fade allows Licorice to dodge that Ellie Blast. Copyfin needs a bit more Maelstrom. Does drop down a Tremor really early, which helps him to deal with the fear. Big Chain Harvest allowing Copyfin to recover a little bit of health. Full dots are setting up for Licorice. Dropping down Grounding Totem. Release him, move those dots. Going to be Mind Control, but I think Mind Control also went into the Grounding Totem. There's going to be a stun to Copy as Copy trying to get a Sun Totem onto Licorice. Copy catching up with quite a bit of healing as Licorice just trying to create a bit of a gap. Big DPs rolling into Copy, landing the interrupt on Shadow. Licorice dropping down or drop down a Siphon, but I think Copy took it out real quickly. Boon of the Ascended is out. Maybe he'll be able to make something happen. Copy popping on wall for the Boon of the Ascended, even though Boon's still doing quite a bit of damage to Copy's health bar. That might be a little bit of healing for Licorice. Get himself PI. Does not have any big bursts for a little bit. Does have defenses very, very soon. Does he have any CC to follow? He might need to get a bit of CC, but it looks like Sunder does knock him down and Copy taking him out with Bellator charging out, leaping in, not giving him Copy an opportunity to get out. It's going to be static totem for Copy, trying to keep the warrior at bay, but there's no way for you to escape him. He has you pinned with that spear. So unless you have a way to break yourself out of roots completely or immune magic damage, you ain't going nowhere. Azarelia is gonna be up next. I'm gonna call you Azelia, but there's an R in your name. And Azaerla. Oh, Azaerla? That still doesn't roll off the tongue easily. Maybe just me. But Azza is gonna be up next as a monk versus Bellator, going in a little bit up from last duel, but did end up kind of just going all in versus Copy. He needs to go versus Azza. He needs to go versus Holy Moly, and Arky immediately fears. I don't know if that was a normal BDB or random proc of BDB for Azza. But they are able to close the gap. Quick jab towards Bellator, who's just trying to avoid the monk as best as possible. Emotes is joining in. Bellator no longer has a fear this time around. No longer has a leap either. So he might be in big trouble. In regeneration to maybe heal. At least he can heal off the win. BDB burst is coming down. That's going to be a root down for Azza. Can't go anywhere. And Bellator just using that spear basher just to walk away from the monk. And Azza taking a bit of damage from the spear, but at least not taking the most damage from Bellator with a crit dam increase. Bellator trying to see if he can blaze storm out of there. He's going to go for a pick up with the Kyrian. Trying to get himself whatever healing. He needs to start hitting images or anything just to get him whatever health he can back. And he's going to try to get some bloodthirst off of Azza. Almost walking into... Or maybe it's his trinket that he would try to get Azza to walk into. Karma is out. Bellator, unless he has a way out of this, he needs to 4 on healing without contributing towards the karma damage. Oh, gets slow. And Azza does end up touch of death in him. That is rough. Yo, Copy, as well as Chrysler played pretty well as a sniping out a kill, man. Team 1 did pretty well. Team 2 did really well too as well. Let's go, boys. Shadow has no chance to heal against Shaman. Shaman, I think, is just a perfect interrupter against casters in general. Grounding totem.